that I did not forget about you. I usually get on here 6 p.m. Central Time to go live. The reason why I didn't get on here at 6 p.m. is because there was another fragrance reviewer actually going live. And I guess, I have my own fragrance friends and fragrance enthusiasts who like to watch my content. So I guess I shouldn't care, but I watched some of their content, and it's not that necessarily bothered me a lot, but I just wanted to sit back and kind of do my own thing. And I don't know how many people even watch their channel, watch mine. But again, they're a newer channel, again, a newer fragrance channel, upcoming channel, and they had like consistently 30 plus, even 40 plus people watching their live. And again, that's not the biggest thing. It didn't bother me terribly as a fragrance lover and enthusiast, but I mean, hey, I do my thing, and I have my own passion, and we're all different, but man, I wish that kind of stuff didn't happen. Hey there, Gam. So good to see you. So again, sorry I'm on here a little bit late, quite a bit late. So I guess it's late night with Benjamin if you do like to stay up late, depending on where you live. Hey there, All Factory Zone. So again, nothing against those people. I'm not going to name who they are. I actually really like their channel and their content. But again, the fragrance community is still very small, and they're fairly familiar with my channel. I don't know why they would go live exactly at the same time that I go lives on Saturday. I don't know why they would decide to do that, but the world's a funny place. I'm not going to hold it against them, but that's why I didn't get on at 6 p.m. Central Time because somebody else was going live. And again, it's a funny world. So, what's your scent of the day, everybody? I've been testing a couple things. I've been testing Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. I actually got myself that fragrance. It's been hyped. It's a very popular, fairly popular designer fragrance. I'm excited to get a review of that for y'all in the future. Also, working on getting some reviews for some spring fragrances, some light kind of green fragrances, and some fresh crisp fragrances for the spring season. I still haven't put out a top 10 or a best of spring list or anything like that. I try not to rush it. Again, I feel like it's been spring, at least where I live, for over a week. But again, I got some people kind of criticized me for releasing a video they felt like I was doing it early. And honestly, we've had spring here for about a week and a half. And I've already seen like 4 or 5 fragrance reviewers already put out a spring list. So it's funny that sometimes I get criticized and other people can do whatever they want. Okay, says a lot more people are going live lately. Yeah, it's true. All factories. It's a great way to connect and make friends, and it's a great way to express who you are. Yeah, that's true. All factory zone. All factory zone says I wore blue agave from Precious Liquids today, but didn't do anything. It's a fine fragrance. Some people are hyping it up as the new best fresh fragrance. Blue agave is really nice. It is a likable fragrance, and it does smell fairly natural. But I felt like not that it has decent longevity. It was more of a 6 hour fragrance on me, but it didn't project a lot. And to me, that's not really a deal breaker. I feel like it's an enjoyable fragrance, but I'm not trying to criticize other reviewers, directly. But I do feel like it's a little bit disingenuous if you try to hype it up as the new biggest, best fresh fragrance or blue fragrance or something like that. It's not a blue agave is not a kind of fragrance like that. Again, if y'all don't know what blue agave is what they use to make tequila. So it has a certain resinous sweetness about it. It's not going to smell like a blue shampoo fragrance like, Sauvage or anything like that, Blue de Chanel. So, anyways, any thoughts, any questions, and how y'all doing this beautiful day? Hope that everybody's smelling good out there. Feel free to pop in. I see 4 people are here. Please pop in and share with me your scent of the day and how's life been treating you. I do have a couple designer fragrances I got. I'm gonna put some of the unboxings out tomorrow for you wonderful people out there on my Instagram. So if you want to see my unboxings, I can show those to you. And I'm excited to get some designers in my collection that I've kind of been wanting for a long time. So, what kind of fragrances have y'all been getting into? What have you been purchasing, buying, enjoying, and how's life been treating you? So, anyways, I'm doing pretty good. I cooked myself up some chicken wings, and I might, who knows what we'll cook up tomorrow. We got a whole bunch of plans, and maybe we'll have some fun. And I don't want to put out birthday out there. I mean, I guess I could. It's not going to hurt or anything. You know, I don't think I have stalkers, but who knows? You know. But I recently did have a birthday, so that was kind of fun, and it was pretty good. So, anyways, did y'all have any fun news? Anything fun? Anything good happen? I have been buying. I have been on a buying hold for a long time. I need to get back to it. Yeah, I was on a. I didn't buy anything for a long while, and then honestly, it sounds really ridiculous, but I got this note because I'm on notifications on FragranceNet and PayPal. They gave me like a $5 off my total order fee of FragranceNet. So not only did I get to use the 35% off, but I got an extra $5 off, which I guess that's not gonna that's not the biggest thing in the world. But it was kind of nice, and I kind of wanted to jump on some designers. So y'all see some of those, and I need to add them to the collection. And again, I hope none of y'all feel like I'm a niche head or a niche snob. I have been reviewing a lot of niche, and I probably will do that more in the future. I'm able to review fragrances that my dad has from time to time, and whenever I can, I review a bunch of those. And he has his hands on a bunch of Rojas. Actually, I haven't even smelled some of them, and he's got a bunch of them, and a bunch of other really high end fragrances. So good deal, yeah. I like saving money. I like to do that. So that's always a wonderful thing, isn't it? So, anyways, hope that y'all excited for some rain, some fragrances, some spring, some citrusy clean fragrances. And is it still cold for y'all? Let me know. Is it still cool weather, or is it warming up for y'all? I'm always curious to know. So, anyways, I'm looking forward to get my nose on the new Stronger with You Absolutely, which is it's out. It really hasn't gone on sale yet or anything like that, but Stronger with You Intensely looks great. There's a new Spice Bomb. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's like Spice Bomb. Let me see it. Let me see if I can't search that. My internet doesn't seem to want to work with me right now. As usual, I need a new computer and I need better internet. But it's like a ruse version. It's like a Spice Bomb Red, and the notes actually look quite good to me. So I'm a bit excited to try that new version. So I don't know if I'll be able to find a picture of it. So. Let's see here. Dave R, good to see you pop in here. Oh, good deal. Factory Zone says, "Did you hear about Mont Blanc Ultra Blue?" No, I have not tried that one, or I have not heard about it. Is that a new fragrance coming out? You know, there's some decent designer fragrances that they just don't get hyped and they fly under the radar. There was Azaro Extreme. I don't know if that fragrance has gotten really cheap, but that is a pretty nice blue, more of a blue fragrance coming from Azaro, and it was really underrepresented, and it is actually one of the, I guess, a better or one of the better designer fragrances that I had smelled in a while. So let me see what the price is like. You can, well, maybe the price is good. Let's double check what size that is. I saw it for $33. Okay, that's no, that's for a 50 mil. It's still not terribly cheap. You can get a full size 3.4 ounce bottle for 70. That's $70, and then you get 10% off more. So you can get it close to about 60 odd dollars. It's still going to get a little bit cheaper in the future, but hey, if you have a lot of fragrances, the 50 mil is only about 30. So let's catch up with the comments. Anyways, that Ultra Blue, I'll try it. I'll see when I'm able to get my hands on the fragrance next. I don't know when that's going to be, but y'all know that there's a lot of fragrances to try to get your hands on. Try to get to smell everything. So, but I'm doing pretty good, Dave R. I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to be able to relax tonight and tomorrow a good bit. Definitely going to meditate. Maybe I'll burn some incense. Who knows? I'm going to definitely try to take it easy and relax, and who knows, cook up some good food. Haven't done any traveling. Y'all know the world's kind of crazy. I usually can't do that. I'm trying to get myself into a better place. And again, I'm trying to make some soap. I've been getting some more ingredients in. I'm experimenting. I don't know if I'm going to commit to some of the ideas. I got some spices coming, more Indian spices. I don't know if I'm going to put that into my soap line or not, but I'm trying to experiment with some stuff. I just need to stop waffling around, and I already have the ingredients for, kind of the four major bars of soap I would make. I already got the ingredients. I should just, make a few of them and see how it goes. So let's see here. I can't find anything on it, but the Facebook group, I posted it. The Facebook group I Fragrance posted something on it. I don't know. Maybe somebody there works in the fragrance industry, and maybe they have a little bit of inside knowledge, a little bit of inside information. I'm not really sure. I haven't heard anything about Ultra Blue by Mont Blanc. There is a fragrance by a very similar name by Polo. I think it goes by a very similar name, Ultra Blue, or something to that effect. And I actually had that fragrance. It was decent. It was kind of ozonic and molecule like, but kind of like a modern blue fragrance. Um, it wasn't terribly exciting. That one flew under the radar as well. So let's see here. I just got the Mansara Oud Lemon Mint today. Not sure if I like it better than Beach Hut Man. Not sure if you like it better. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not a bad fragrance. I don't really highly recommend it usually, not because it's a bad fragrance, just because I don't find it is not that it's strange or unusual, it's still pretty wearable and likable. It's just one of those it's not polarizing either. It's just I don't know. I just usually don't recommend it. It's a decent fragrance. It just didn't get me excited about it. If you're looking for a really mass appealing, easy to wear citrus fragrance, especially Monsara, and again, Monsaras are a really good value for about 80 odd dollars, or even cheaper. Great fragrances for the money. You can go for Sicily. Sicily probably is going to be more mass appealing and citrusy and likable. But Oud Lemon Mint is good. I've seen a lot of people like it. It's I don't know why. Even when it was hyped, I got myself a sample, and that's another one of those fragrances. Sometimes I'll share my opinions that go contrary to other people, and sometimes I'll just shut my mouth because sometimes I don't want to stir the pot and make a fight with anybody. I did put my full opinions and I put my heart out there on the new Hermes H24. I don't know if y'all saw that fragrance review. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I kind of went contrary to a number of other fragrance reviewers, and probably what some people kind of waffled around and kind of gave it a lukewarm fragrance review, but I really put myself out there, and not that it's a terrible fragrance, but I don't think it's the hit that Hermes is maybe going to be hoping for. And I just don't think it's going to be that big of a, or it's as amazing as it could have been or maybe should have been. So Dave R says, I just make them soap and see how it goes for starters. Get your feet wet. Absolutely. I need to do that. And once you have a tiny bit of success and start making a tiny bit of money, that's a big deal. And that starts pushing you forward and motivates you. Again, it's not all about money, but again, you got to get somewhere. And y'all know that I haven't had a big career, and I haven't had a lot. It's not like I'm some power broker like a big actor or director or a lawyer or something, and I'm trying to expand business, which nothing is wrong with that for those successful people, even becoming more successful. But again, I'm down. I'm down there with almost nothing, trying to scrape by. So, anyways, let's see here. Are y'all want to talk about some new fragrance releases? Are y'all ready for that? And thank you again for the encouragement, Dave R. I do appreciate that. Absolutely. But have there been any new fragrances that have excited y'all? Again, there's always funny suggestions that I make, like with Parfums de Marly, because there's the Leighton exclusive and the Pegasus exclusive. I think that they should make the Herod exclusive, and I'm looking forward to that. That's going to come around one of these days, and I'm going to be kind of excited about that. I don't know how many of their fragrances they are going to make into exclusives, but I would love to try that. So, anyways, I've been feeling like I need to buy a Prada. I've been tempted by the Prada El Homme, but the intense version, the flanker, and I've been tempted. I kind of feel like I need at least one fragrance from some of these houses. I need to buy. So let me catch up with the comments. Stronger with You, absolutely. I heard is coming out. Yeah, Stronger with You, absolutely is already out. Depending if you have connections or if you know where to get it at the right shops. Some people already, I think I saw one or two reviews out of it. Some of these guys got connections or must have the money because some of these people are getting it fast. These new fragrance releases. Again, we had H24 by Hermes ordered almost as soon as you could get it. And I guess I live farther away from New York City or wherever they're distributing H24. And I wasn't even going to try to rush out a review, but that people had out a review or in first impressions and things like that, even full length reviews, a week before we even got the fragrance. So that's funny. Product let smells like drying sheets. I've been tempted to get that one. I actually like that blue, light blue, sky blue effect to the bottle. I like the idea of a fresh fragrance like that, but again, I don't like the smell of dryer sheets. I've been tempted to get it, but I always hold back. You know, that's one of those fragrances that I've almost bought a couple times. So, does H24 smell similar to Reflection Man by Amouage? No, I would not say at all. H24 by Hermes doesn't really smell like a lot of things on the market. If you're deep into fragrances, you probably have smelled the original Terre de Hermes. It's the closest thing I could say is it smells like Terre de Hermes, but they stripped everything away from it. It smells like the heart. It smells like the core, but it's a little bit floral. It has a few other small nuances, but it's they try kind of stripped a lot of it, kind of things away from the fragrance and tried to make it like a more of a modern, urban kind of fragrance. And again, I compared it kind of to Dior Homme 2020, but again, the Dior Homme 2020 was a scandal because they renamed the fragrance, and they put it, they gave the bottle to people, and it's really not the same fragrance. It's a complete reformulation. But imagine if Dior Homme 2020 was actually made into a different fragrance with a different name. It's kind of the same concept. You have your core DNA, you have your style, you put out something really modern and urban and trendy, something that's more safe, and then you promote it as kind of like an entry level fragrance or something that you could, almost anybody could wear. It probably is going to sell to the masses fairly well. You could share that fragrance to just about anybody. And if they want something more interesting, then you can offer them something interesting. And I can see the marketing and the strategy behind that because, maybe somebody says, "Oh, that's kind of good." And then if the sales clerk or the sales the person working the fragrance counter in the fragrance boutique can be like, "Oh, would you like to try a different Hermes fragrance or something like that, something a little bit more interesting, but kind of there's something mass appealing or more entry level for everybody." And I do think that Hermes needed something like that. I mean, even if they would have made an aquatic, that would have been fine. I just don't think it does anything special or different enough. Watch my full length review if you want to see that. Anyways, H24 does not smell like Reflection Man. Reflection Man is more of a lavender vanilla fragrance. It has quite a few elements to it, and Reflection Man's really nice. So it's different though. Anyways, sorry, dog's going crazy. What can I say? So, any other questions? Feel free to tell me about your week and what you smelled and how's everything going for you. Edges Dragon says, "Have you heard about the new Polo Cologne Intense EDP coming out this year? I wonder how they make a modern take on Polo Green." I'm curious about that as well. Somebody this morning on my Instagram did tell me about that. Honestly, I don't know if they're going to try to make essentially another very small change and repackage Polo Green because in the past they've essentially repackaged Polo Green and made a few small tweaks, but they didn't change the DNA a lot. It's not like they added tobacco or made it a deeper green fragrance or switched it up with ambergris in one version or tonka in another or leather in another one. It really was about the same fragrance, but the notes and a few of the concentrations of the notes in the fragrance were just switched around just a little bit. So I am interested to see if it's going to be a lot different or if it's going to be about the same. I wouldn't be surprised with that new Polo Cologne Intense EDP that they make a fresher and possibly even more molecule-like fragrance that's more mass appealing. I wouldn't be amazed if they did that, but if Polo's willing to do that, I understand that a lot of people like Polo Green and know Polo Green. Again, I'm not sitting there behind their numbers and I don't have all the information that they have, but I would almost want Polo Green to make a new fragrance. I mean, that would be kind of interesting to see a Polo bottle that's almost clear and have almost like a new fragrance line. And I don't know. I like the Supreme bottles. I almost wish that Polo would switch all their bottles to the Polo Supreme bottles. I think that they had their what was that called, like the pony or the big pony line. I thought that was really tacky and I didn't like how those presentations came together. Their regular fragrances are decent, but I don't know. I don't know how y'all feel about that. But top three parfums de Marley's. I just bought Leighton and love it. Greetings from Ireland. Oh, Ireland. Were you the fellow I was joking about? I used to watch a couple, Irish YouTubers, and I have some Irish blood in me. I'm a Mick, not a Mac. I'm an MC, not a MAC. So. But that's awesome. And Parfums de Marly is a really nice house. Again, I do give them a little bit of a hard time for their prices, and because I almost want to slow down the popularity of them because there's plenty of other good houses. But I almost don't even want to. I used to talk up Nichane a good bit. Almost don't even want to do that anymore because Nichane is really popular. So, I kind of want to give every brand a fair chance. But they do have really good fragrances. I just think maybe Parfums de Mars is a little bit too expensive, and I didn't like maybe again. I don't want to accuse, but possibly some of the possibly shady promotions that have been done on YouTube through Parfums de Marly. But anyways, Leighton is a great fragrance. I have smelled it. I have reviewed it. It's really really nice. My favorites personally are probably Leighton Exclusive. I think they've weakened it a little bit, but I still find it pretty nice. It has more coffee, a little bit more animalics. It's a little bit woodier. It has a lot less of the vanilla, and it's almost a little bit less spicy. I almost wish that they would have, with the Leighton Exclusive, that they would have kept the vanilla and a lot of the spices, and just really made the fragrance richer and more complex with coffee and animalics, and maybe darker woods. I feel like it should be a stronger fragrance, but instead they've almost turned it to more of a slightly musky affair, and I don't like that. But it's still a really good fragrance. My favorite Parfums de Mars is probably Hobdon. It's more of a slightly Middle Eastern inspired fragrance. It's not oudi. It's not overtly strange, but it is one of the more, I guess, slightly daring ones. There is a Middle Eastern collection, but Hobdon is not a part of it. There is Hamdani, and that's very animalic, more of an animalic ambergris fragrance. Don't get the two mixed up. Hobdon and Hamdani are two different fragrances. You probably won't get them mixed up. You don't see Hamdani very often, and you don't see it for sale very often. And you'd probably have questions and be curious because it's a good bit more expensive than the regular Parfums de Marly's. Anyways, Hobdon's fantastic. And then I would have a really hard time choosing my third one because Leighton's fantastic, Carlisle's great. I don't, I, I'm just, if I'm thinking about their three best fragrances for myself, I probably would choose their more masculine ones, but I mean, Delina's gorgeous. Delina Exclusive is pretty darn nice. I'm not really sure which one I could pick. Carlisle's really good though. Um, Galloway sometimes is really good. I've tried that one. I've tried most of them, but I'm not sure which other one I would have to choose. But anyways, I'm not again nothing against Herod, but again I've smelled a lot of tobacco fragrances, and some people went gaga for Herod. It didn't do magic for me. But again, I guess I like a really strong tobacco if I'm going for tobacco. And some of the same people who loved Herod, again, nothing against Herod, seemed to really like Oud for Greatness by Initio. And I still respect those people who do those or are fragrance reviewers, and we certainly all have our views and opinions and experiences. But Oud for Greatness was not a good or successful fragrance for me. That was one of the kind of the big breaking points for me that helped me understand. I have my own taste and preferences, and I really got to start putting my own views out there. And if I stand on my own, maybe I help somebody out there, who has similar taste and similar opinions about fragrances, to me, or maybe I just help balance things out because, you know, I wasn't there for Oud for Greatness. I recognize that Baccarat Rouge 540, even that fragrance worked for some people, but I never really hyped it up either. So, Bruno, is there any niche fragrance that smells like women's feet? I don't know. I respect that you have your own fetish, my friend. I'm not really into that crew, but more power to you. There are a good amount of fragrances that smell skin-like with molecules, and Ambergris sometimes can have like a salty skin-like quality to it. So I'm sure that you might be able to find a fragrance like that. Again, everybody acts like it's a disgusting fragrance, and it can be daring. To me, it has a bad feeling about it, like a crime scene. But maybe if you're really into fetishes, some people wear the fragrance, believe it or not. And us in the fragrance community, again, it's there's everybody seems to think the same way, or at least want to fall in line. You could wear Secretions Magnifique if you wanted that kind of fetish fragrance, and it's not disgusting to me. It just feels strange. It feels kind of bad, but it doesn't actually smell disgusting to me at all. If you want to actually disgusting fragrance, smell Sombre. Sombre by Strangers Perfumery smells absolutely horrendous, and it intentionally smells like a very disgusting fragrance. Does Molecule 01 smell like skin? It can blend with your skin. It can have a similar feeling. That's for sure. So Molecule 01 could do it for you. There's a number of fragrances. You could look for fragrances that have like a bread or a dough-like quality to them if you want something to smell skin-like. I'm trying. I need to. I need to. I don't know if y'all want me to. I don't get the biggest views in the world, but I could make some content on some really odd topics. But I don't know if I want to do that. But um, I probably have reviewed or talked about something that's skin like in an interesting way. I'm trying to remember. Hmm. Or salty. Anyways, thanks, buddy. I really respect your views. I'm happy to help. Edge's Dragon says crime scene. That'd be an interesting name for a fragrance. Absolutely. And if nobody steals it from me, that'd be a good idea. There is Kerosene's Blackmail, which is actually a fantastic fragrance. I think I've reviewed that. I think I've reviewed it here. I know I've talked about it on Instagram, and I really like it. So, anyways, it's hope that I helped you out finding a skin or molecule like fragrance. None of the fragrance really jumped to mind except Secretions Magnifique, which is kind of a fetish fragrance on it in and of its own. And there's molecule fragrances that blend in with your skin. And there's you. I think. Let me double check. Can you? Is on Fragrantica, you can go to the top and you can search individual notes. And I don't know if they actually have skin listed as a note. I've never tried that before, but we're going on the deep side. We're going on the dark side of fragrances, and we're going to see if skin is actually listed as a note on Fragrantica. If my internet wants to load it, internet might say no, but we'll try. Anyways, Dave R says, "Is Oud for Greatness bad or bad to your liking? Look up. You're skipping over a question I asked. Thanks. Okay, no, let me double check. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed your question there. Did That was not intentional. You say, do you like the House of Nishané? If so, how would you rate Ani and Haktavat? I don't know if you're too familiar with my content, my friend, Mr. Dave R, or if you've been watching, or maybe I'm getting things confused with what I talk about on Instagram because I cover a lot of content, awful lot of things on both platforms. But I love Nishane. I spoke highly about them. I had Fan Your Flames and talked about it really highly about a year or over a year ago. So I was one of the people first on the bandwagon and kind of helped Nishane. Again, I'm not affiliated with them. I've got no kickback or anything like that. But I did talk really highly about them. And Ani is gorgeous. Ani is absolutely worth it. It's a fantastic fragrance. It's gorgeous. It's worth the hype, and definitely give it a try. If you like vanilla, especially if you like spicy, cardamom vanilla type combination fragrances, Nishane is absolutely worth trying, and also has a good amount of ambergris. Sorry about my itchy nose, but it's certainly worth trying if you like any of those things: vanilla, cardamom, or ambergris. Anyways, Nishane is a great house. Haktavat is a fine fragrance. It does smell a little bit more similar to like almost like a 2014 batch of a Ventus, and they were trying to recreate a more oak moss and smoky complex batch of Aventus. I think that they were fairly successful, and the performance on Haktavat is fantastic. So it's going to work for a lot of people. For me personally, I mean, Aventus is great, and I see why people want to recreate or have clones or whatever. Nishane got pretty darn close, or you might even say that that fragrance is a clone. I think that you're justified in saying that. But the thing is, with Haktavat, I look forward, to new fragrances. There's so much so many new perfumers and new creations and new fragrances. I mean, Aventus was a beautiful fragrance, and I'll never forget how the different batches smelled. And it's a beautiful fragrance, and I would love to have enough money so I could spray as much of a 2012 batch or 2015. I love the 2016 and 2015, late 2015 batches. Those are some of my favorites. But I kind of look forward to the new fragrances, and I always try to keep my head up. But so for me personally, Haktavat is almost like living in the past. It's a great fragrance, and a lot of people like it for good reasons. But I almost would like, if you're going to make an Aventus like fragrance, maybe why not, get very close to making Aventus, but put a huge spin on it. Why not make it into like an aquatic version of Aventus, or I don't know, a molecule like version? Do something. I don't know. To me, they were successful in what they attempted to do, but just wasn't for me. Anyways, let me get back to your question. You asked about oud. You asked about oud for greatness. I don't know if I want to go over it again. And again, I'm not trying to tear down other fragrance reviewers. But oud for greatness is a fragrance that's. It's not that it smells synthetic, as in it smells bad. But if you smelled real natural ouds, guys, I know ouds. These are real natural ouds. These are legit. These will blow you away. These will knock you out. Um, Oud for greatness is for people who don't are scared of oud or don't like oud, and that's not a bad thing. A lot of people don't like oud, and a lot of people are unfamiliar, just scared of it. And oud for greatness is a very safe fragrance. It's a little bit dark. It still feels fairly woody, but there is very, 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 very little oud in that fragrance to no oud in oud for greatness. And I found it. I tried not to shake the boat. I tried not to criticize other fragrance reviewers, but when you're telling people that's an oud fragrance, I don't know. It's there's almost no real oud in it, if not any oud. And they got close to kind of representing that dark patchouli, almost like dark Tom Ford patchouli like modern oud, lots of synthetics. I don't know. I wasn't very happy that that fragrance got very terribly successful as a oud fragrance. Oud is a beautiful note. I know that oud's not for everybody, but there's lots of beautiful ouds out there, and oud can be blended in a beautiful way. And I don't know. I didn't like that oud for greatness was so hyped. I really was not happy about that, especially as I'm not an oud head. I don't blend or layer every fragrance with oud. I don't even wear oud that regularly, but I know what the beauty of it. I know I'm starting to learn where oud can come from in different places and the complexities of it. If you want to know my favorite types of ouds, I like tropical Filipino oud. That's probably my favorite ouds of all time that I've tried. And there's some of that Indonesian stuff that's quite fascinating. And sometimes Chinese oud is also fascinating. And it's funny, I think Aries Lador actually just recently came out with a Chinese oud. And Chinese oud feels almost like a hybrid of Middle Eastern and Indonesian or Indie oud, but it has an energy to it. It has like a spiciness, Chinese oud. It's quite fascinating. So, anyways, let me get to some other comments and stuff. I'm sorry if I got on that topic in a crazy way. Let's see. I think Molecule 01 is the best close encounter fragrance. It is a very good safe fragrance. If you want a very inoffensive fragrance, if you want to smell like a naturally better version of yourself, for some people, everybody's different. Some people want to stand out with a fragrance and they want to be noticed, and they want people to say, "Oh, what cologne are you wearing?" So if you wear Molecule 01, I don't think anybody would ever say, "What fragrance are you wearing?" But they would just say, "Oh, you smell really good today," meaning that they think that naturally smell really good or really clean, or maybe you use some kind of really nice, maybe some herbal shampoo or something. They would think that you just naturally smell really good. And I think that's what Molecule 01 is. You could safely wear that in a big city, in crowded environments. And again, some people, might not think about it, but if you live in Japan or even New York or somewhere where it's really highly crowded, it might be again. The Sauvage boys might not want to hear this, but it might be very taboo or offensive to put on 10 or 20 sprays. Again, nothing against getting noticed, but again, with some of the people who say the bundle spray, It might be very offensive to wear 10 or 20 sprays of a strong fragrance when you're around 100 people in a train, in an airport, or in a very a very congested when you're very close to around a lot of people in a public space. So, Molecule 01 certainly does a good job of that. I would say get it on sale. I think it's overpriced for what it is, and you can buy ISOE Super as a perfumer. ISOE Super is very affordable and very cheap, and you're paying a lot of money for their blending with eccentric molecules. I personally, for me, I like the eccentric molecule O3. That's probably my favorite one out of the bunch of all that I've tried. But if you want something really mass appealing, do give the number five a chance. It's actually they're more of their aquatic version, and it's actually quite nice. So do give the eccentric molecule O5 a chance. It's actually, I think, their newest one out of all of them. I don't think they've come out with number six yet, but do give it a chance. Let's pop into the comments and let me see if there's anything else. Dave R, good to see you, my friend. I don't know how to say your name there, Steve. Steve Bruce says, pause. I don't know what that means, but from Poland. Greetings and good to see you. Poland, I need to visit there. Looks like a nice place. C. Boyce says, do you like Interlude Man? I respect it as a fragrance. I like the House of Amouage. I really do. Amouage is one of my favorite houses, but I personally can't wear the Blue Beast. It's not that it's overwhelming. I can pull the Blue Beast off. It's not going to wear me. I have a personality where I could pull it off. I just don't feel like I ever usually want to wear that fragrance. So what I'm trying to say is I can wear a very strong smoky fragrance or a very strong incense fragrance, but when do I ever want to? And when do I ever want to feel that brooding? If I want a brooding fragrance, I probably would wear In Part. Or no, it's called Irreverent. It's from the In Part collection from Histoires de Parfum. If you don't know, that was a very daring, different collection from the normal fragrance of Histoires de Parfum. Most of Histoires de Parfums are classic fragrances. They're kind of, they're classic inspired, but they have their own style about them, and they do a great job. But they came out with their In Part collection, and they were all darker, more mysterious, and incensey, and had sometimes dark floral components and things like that. And In Part has like a very cold, like like a plastic quality to it. It's very screechy in its own little way, and it has coffee and lavender, and it's kind of gothic. And if I wanted a brooding fragrance like Interlude Man, I personally would like Irreverent. So, anyways, what do you think of Aqua de Parma Oud de Eau de Parfum? I have not tried that fragrance. Aqua de Parma makes great fragrances. I've spoken highly about the original Colonia. I really like the Colonia Intensa. That's probably the one I recommend y'all go for. But again, the original Colonia is an all-time classic, and it really blends great Italian citruses and leather and musk and some beautiful qualities all together. And it's a timeless fragrance. It certainly is something I think every gent should smell to see if he likes it. And if you don't usually like leather fragrances, it might just be the perfect fragrance for you, where you get a little bit of a taste of leather, but it's not overbearing with leather whatsoever. It's blended very nicely. I expect that Aqua de Parma Oud is a good fragrance. I have no doubts that they put out probably a pretty good fragrance. I just haven't tried it yet. I've looked at that fragrance at discounters, blind buying it, and it seems terribly expensive to me. But I don't know what kind of quality went into that fragrance. Maybe maybe they put in a lot of oud or expensive ingredients. I really don't know. So, anyways, my mind is funny enough still on skin-like fragrances, so I'm actually gonna type that in right now. But please ask questions. Please ask away. Skin-like. But anyways, ask away with the questions. That's what this is all about. Um, regards, my friend. Hey there, Steve Bruce. Good to see you. Regards, absolutely. Bruno says, "Do you like fragrances that smell like hot rubber or bondage, fetish, something edgy or industrial?" Usually, I don't go for anything too much like that. There was one from, I believe it was Serge Lutens. It was called, what was that fragrance called? It was cellophane, and there is Frank Boclet has a fragrance called. I don't even know if I can say this. This might hurt my channel, but it's an illicit substance, starts with a C. I don't know if I can even say that word. Who knows? That could have hurt my channel just saying illicit. Anyways, there are some fragrances out there that are quite interesting. I think I saw that supposedly the band, what was it? I can't. It's a German rock band. I just had it in my head, but I can't remember right now. I'm gonna kick myself. They made a fragrance with the same name. Anyways, let's get back to the comments. Let's see here. But no, I usually don't like fragrances with daring synthetic notes. Not usually. Sometimes on the odd occasion it can work, but don't usually go for that. Industrial music, I do sometimes still like that from time to time. I know we're talking about fragrance, but from time to time I like that if sometimes some industrial beats are mixed into the music a little bit. But that's a different style. It's a different. And industrial to me goes the same with urban. Things smelling kind of like cement, like a city. That's an interesting thing. So, one of those fragrances that I can actually fairly recommend, that's pretty easy to get into, fairly mass appealing, that almost goes in that direction. Almost goes, not really. But it's Prana Luna Rosa Carbon. If you've never given that fragrance a chance, it's actually, I think, a little bit more interesting than people give it credit for, and it's actually pretty darn nice. So, let's see, catch up with the comments. C. Boyce says, I have a sample of the Blue Beast, but struggling to find an occasion. Exactly, that's how I feel. Again, that fragrance wouldn't wear me. I can wear that. I can wear Interlude Man. I can wear Dior Fahrenheit. I can wear a strong fragrance. I can wear Ursa by Tiziana Terenzi. I can pull it off. But when am I going to wear a fragrance like that? When am I going to actually enjoy that fragrance and want to wear it and feel like I need to wear it? I don't know. To me, it's kind of like a Phantom of the Opera fragrance, like once a year. It's like, when are you going to wear it for Halloween? When you want to walk down a dark alley? I don't know when you're going to wear that one. Oh, I forgot to say, I didn't actually read this anywhere, but it popped into mind because I was looking up some floral fragrances. If you want something skin like, also don't of course I said musk, but do give Magnolia a chance as far as florals go. I think that'd work. Um, Let me see here. There's one that's called Sunday Cologne that you might want to give a chance. It supposedly smells skin-like. By Byredo, I don't think everybody talks about that one, but that one might also be worth trying. So let me catch up with the comments. Bulgari Black has a rubber-like smell. The bottle is shaped like a tire. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It does have a rubber-like quality to it, just like Amen does, the original Mugler Amen. Rammstein, absolutely, that's the one. Rammstein, that's the one I was thinking of. They made a fragrance, and supposedly, I don't even know where it's sold, but I've read some interviews and I've read people talk about it. Maybe it's only available in Germany. I don't even know if it's a good fragrance or not, but I would kind of want to smell that fragrance because Rammstein is like so provocative. Again, I'm not trying to say their music is good. I know a lot of y'all out there, and I know some other fragrance reviewers and their personalities. They probably don't want anything to do with hard German rock music. But I do kind of want to see what that band would produce. And again, I don't know even how affiliated the company is, or if, the band actually smelled the fragrance or put their stamp of approval or told the company what notes they wanted. But I still kind of want to smell it just for kicks and giggles. And it would be fun. So if anybody has a sample of that, if anybody knows where to get a bottle or wants to send me a bottle, let me know. And I would love to review a fragrance from Rammstein. And if you haven't checked out their band, if you want some shock factor, I guess if you're a fetish kind of guy, check out their song called Son. So I think that's how you say it. It's Sionne or something like that. And you'll know what I'm talking about. It has to do with like, what was it? It wasn't Sleeping Beauty. It was, I think it wasn't it. No, I can't even. It's with the dwarves, the seven dwarves. I can't remember her name. I haven't watched Disney fairy tales in a long time, guys. Please forgive me. I'm terrible at this. Well, what's the darn princess's name? Um, Funny enough, I tried to type it in, and and it didn't even help me. So okay. Anyways, Snow White. That's the one. Snow White. Okay. What's popular designer fragrance that you dislike the most? Mine would be Exotic and Voltaire. This is him. I just don't enjoy it. I forget if I've actually tried that fragrance. I've heard a lot of hype behind that fragrance. I've almost blind bought Just Rock from from that brand, Zadig and Voltaire. I don't know what is a designer fragrance I actually dislike that's popular. A popular one. I mean, I don't like Sauvage, and that's probably the biggest one. I don't think the original EDT. I don't enjoy the fragrance and how it smells. I don't think it transitions very well, and I think it's too loud. Some people like the performance. I think it's too loud. It's obnoxious, and I don't connect to the fragrance at all in any way. So that's probably the biggest one. I don't know of a lot of designer fragrances that I really dislike. Gray flannel was one of them that I absolutely, really disliked. Gray flannel to me smelled like car exhaust, and it's extremely strong, at least in the opening, and it made me choke and gag. I'll never forget that experience. But that fragrance isn't terribly popular. It has a cult following behind it, but I don't know. The other fragrance I could say I dislike besides Sauvage that's popular as designer fragrances go is Jupe. I know that some people like it, so more power. Again, if you like a fragrance, wear it, rock it, enjoy your life. And that's what fragrances is all about, having a good time. And I get, I'm not buying it, so more bottles for you, right? Cheaper prices for you because I'm not buying it. But anyways, Jupe is just too kind of not synthetic, but cough syrup like, and it's sweet, it's medicinal, and it's kind of aggressive. It's just something that I don't know. I don't want to smell like cherry cough syrup for me. Let me catch up with the comments. Let's see here. But hopefully it answered your question, Steve Boyce. Steve Bruce says, I don't read Polish if that's Polish, but more power to you. If you'd like to, please write that in English so I can understand, my friend. I think I see something you might be asking about chocolate. I'm not really sure, but you're asking about Aqua de Parma something. Please ask away. Ron says, I love Aqua de Parma oud. Sounds nice. I need to try it. Bruno says, what are some designer or niche fragrances that are inspired by synthetic theme like metal, plastic? Okay, I mentioned one by Slurs Lutens already. Let me double check. It's called Cellophane. I'm pretty darn sure. Let me double check if this thing I don't even know if it's available for sale anymore, but it was called Cellophane. Nuit de Cellophane, or the Night of the Cellophane, by Serge Lutens. Let's see here if it's even. I don't even know if it's sold regularly anymore. I'm trying to get my internet to load. I'm trying to get to load. So, sorry for my language. No problem, Steve Bruce. I'm here for you. I'm absolutely here for you. But anyways, synthetic fragrances has that kind of vibe to it. I'm trying to remember. There's quite a few fragrances that might sneakily sneak in some smoke that sometimes smells rubber-like, but that might not be exactly what you're looking for. Okay, let me see. This fragrance doesn't sell a lot. Not very many people buy it. So I'm looking up what size you can buy a 50 mil 1.6 ounce tester for 63 dollars, and then you can get the if you look up the 35% off discount, you can get a little bit cheaper. You can't probably get about 55 odd dollars. And I don't know if I'd go for the 3.3 ounce, which again, a fragrance net sometimes has funny pricing. So the 1.6 ounce tester is only $63, and then you can get cheaper. The 3.3 ounce again, which is only two times as much juice, you would think it would be 160 odd dollars, right? It's actually 181. So I know it's a tester, and you save a little bit more money. That's quite a jump in price. So, anyways, that might be worth it. Another one that immediately comes to mind is Tom of Finland. I think that's made by Etat Libre d'Orange once again. Again, I don't know what I can say on the internet, YouTube, and what I not, but it has a note, and it does smell a bit like a latex, or some people might say a rubber. Um, it has a smell like that. So. It's if you like want something synthetic or something fetish like, that might be something to go for. If you want something metallic, I'm trying to remember what are some other fragrances that smell metallic. I haven't smelled a lot of fragrances recently that have that kind of vibe to them. Again, I mean, I found some Silver Mountain water-like fragrances that have that neroli and that clean, crisp, metallic vibe to them, but I don't know. It's that kind of satisfied me. I usually don't look for anything more metallic than that. There's a few fragrances out there that have a little bit of it. There is the Terre d'Hermes, the Eau de Parfum that has the Flint note. You could go to Fragrantica and look at the notes and look for Flint. Let me see here if I can't find anything else for you. Let me look up metallic notes and see if Fragrantica wants to help us out. So, does Fahrenheit smell like industrial or aftershave splash? My dad used to. It does have a violet note. It has more of the aggressive side of violet that smells a little bit like petrol or gasoline. It's for some people that's a make it or break it. Some people love that vibe or smell. I used to work at a like at a car dealership, and I actually like the smell of gasoline. Some people like that, some people don't. It's really up to you. Some people find like it's extremely masculine or aggressive. It's really up to you if you like violet that kind of way. But there's a lot of fragrances that can almost have an urban or extreme quality about them, depending, I guess, on how it's produced. Or again, for a mass appealing, easier to wear fragrance that has an urban quality, please check out Prada Luna Rosa Carbon. But I'm looking up, some other. There's one by Blackbird. I can't even say the name of it, but do look one up. It has a pipe something, and that might work for you. I'm just looking up notes. Okay, let me see. There's I don't even know if it's available for sale anymore, but Alchemia, which is an indie fragrance house, made one that was called Industrial Sabotage. So you could imagine what that fragrance is about. It's supposedly Penhaligon Sartorial has some metallic notes. I actually don't remember ever seeing this or talking about this. So let me look at the notes real quick, and maybe there's something hidden up in this fragrance for us. Let's see here. Metallic. Okay, maybe I'll get off this metallic and the strange fragrance talk here in a second. I know I see somebody asking about summer niche recommendations from Salespo. Probably should jump into that here in a second, but okay, I'm just looking. I'm trying to get the page to load for Sartorial. Anyways, Dolce Gabbana Light Blue Swimming Lapari and Polo Blue Gold Blend smell too metallic to me. Um, to me, Swimming Lapari doesn't smell metallic at all, but it does have ambergris. So maybe ambergris smells metallic to you, or maybe it's this synthetic ambergris, something you really dislike. So it's funny. We all have different noses. Again, with Sauvage, to me, Sauvage doesn't smell metallic. It just smells body odorish and overtly spicy in the opening. I don't like the sweet shampoo vibe that I get in one part of the fragrance, and I just don't like the blending. But it's interesting that you seem to, with your nose, really pull out metallic qualities out of synthetic ambergris or ambroxan. So that's quite fascinating. So you might want to avoid that. Maybe if you want something urban, you could look for coal or charcoal, which is somewhat common or used as like a more industrial or unique kind of note in fragrances. Sartorial. When I looked up metal notes, it included Sartorial by Penhaligon's, and it supposedly has metallic notes. I don't know if that's true. Before we end this topic and jump to summer fragrances, one that's a pretty darn good fragrance is called Rose All Day. It does have a stainless steel accord to it. There's one here called Spirit Lamp by Dias and Durga, and I mean you could go on Fragrantica on your free time, and if you'd like to. And there's some fragrances out there that supposedly have it. Again, I'm not. I'd like to get my nose and try the Neanderthal fragrances, but supposedly the Neanderthal light fragrance has some metallic qualities to it. So there's a lot out there to explore. That is for sure. Anyways, let's jump into the comments. But I love Terre d'Hermes if it's metallic in any way that suits me. Yeah, again, it's funny that there's some things that some of us love and some of us things that some of us don't love. Sometimes things make it or break it for some of us, and that's a beautiful thing. That's why there's 100 fragrances, 1,000 fragrances, isn't there? There's so many fragrances out there, and you know, that's I think a good thing that you have so many options. On the metallic, but I said that we're going to wrap it up. I guess I'll mention a few things real quick. There's Comme des Garçons Copper. If you want to smell a copper fragrance, that's quite interesting. Not a lot of fragrances have that type note in the fragrances. There's Posey, We Shall Be Monsters, which is an indie fragrance. And there's, if you've never smelled these fragrances from Timothy Hahn, there's one called Against Nature. I don't know if it's still made, but he makes some really crazy, some really nice fragrances. There's one called Decay of an Angel, and has some really nice stuff. So you might like how that fragrance comes together. Anyways, I love Terre d'Hermes as well. I like the Eau Trace Fresh. It's my favorite. Bruno says Tom of Finland versus Luna Rossa Carbon, which is edgier. Um, Tom of Finland is definitely more edgy. And it's funny. The Prana Luna Rossa Carbon is the designer fragrance, but it actually has a fuller body. The Tom of Finland becomes more of a musky, almost transparent fragrance. But because it smells so much like a, if you want to, it's that certain thing that you'd use. Some it kind of in certain countries it goes by the same name as like a helmet. This is such a weird conversation. We're talking about fragrances, but it's going to smell like that in a weird powdery, almost powdery latex kind of way. So I guess if you or whoever is your partner or around you, they might find that provocative. I mean, if you're around certain people, it might be very provocative. I don't know how often that's going to work for you, or results may vary. Oh man, y'all are getting y'all. I never would expect that we would have had such a crazy, strange conversation, but here we are. Here we are. So, anyways, Tom of Finland is probably a little bit more provocative. Both are pretty wearable though. Tom of Finland is not unwearable. But again, it's going to work for some people, and some people are going to like it. Some people are going to hate it. But there are people out there who actually really like Tom of Finland. It actually sells more, and I guess more people supposedly wear it than you'd think. There's a cult following behind it, so you might become a believer in Tom of Finland. So, anyways, Prana Luna Rossa Carbon's the easier one to wear, but still is quite a nice fragrance. And if you like things like Acqua di Gio Profumo, with that dark patchouli, that incense, I think you do probably, you might want to just give the Prada Luna Rossa Carbon a chance too. So, anyways, let's jump to another comment. Scott says, "Has anyone tried Diaz and Durga Cosmico?" I have not tried that fragrance yet, but Diaz and Durga, just about every fragrance I've smelled from them has either been blended really well and I've really liked it, and not and the other fragrances, not that they're not blended well. It's just that they're not my taste or preference. But overall, Diaz and Durga, pretty darn good house and fragrance brand. And sometimes you can find them on sale. Again, I've recommended and I've given y'all links to. Again, not affiliate links. I don't get anything in return. But I think there was cowboy grass, and there was some. At one point, you could find it for like $120. $120 for cowboy grass. That's a crazy good deal in my opinion. So I see Boyce says, "Do you ever layer fragrances? Have you tried any YouTuber fragrances?" I usually don't layer fragrances. Sometimes I do if I want to be just kind of whimsical and fun and do something carefree. But I don't do that often enough. Again, I'm smelling and sampling and trying so many fragrances that I half of the time don't even get to wear fragrances from my own collection. So, anyways, sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. But if I do layer, I usually use a fragrance oil like a musk, or something like that. I have some Arabian fragrance oils in my ouds if I do layer, and those are a lot safer. Again, when you blend fragrances, Again, results may vary. You might find a blend that works beautifully, like those two fragrances work in harmony together and really come out as a new, interesting hybrid of a fragrance. Sometimes you might make a monster of a fragrance, and it might not harmonize together. So it really depends, and sometimes it's risky. And I mean, I found a couple combinations that work, and sometimes you have a bad experience or even a bad day because you don't like how you smell for the entire day. So I don't know. I probably should do it more. I kind of do it whenever I feel like it. It's you know, again, I encourage y'all to get oils if you can, musk oils, fragrance oils, and or maybe you like a certain note. Maybe you really like oak moss. Maybe you're a big lover of a certain note. You can buy that oil and put it on your skin and then spray your regular fragrance on top of it, and you can enhance that note. Maybe you really like citrus. You can buy yourself bergamot oil. You can buy yourself grapefruit oil. You can buy yourself just about anything. If there's a certain type of note that you like, you can probably get that oil and kind of adapt your fragrance in your own way. So, anyways, great question there. The second part of your question is, have I ever tried s slash and or reviewed any YouTuber fragrances? I have not. I haven't reviewed. I think it's called Absolutio from Redolescence's brand. His fragrances. I haven't tried any of Jensen's fragrances. Supposedly, I think Demi had a collaboration and Big Beard Business. I haven't smelled any of those yet. I have reviewed Jeremy's fragrance Office for Men. Somebody was very generous enough to send a sample to me. I was not about to pay $10 or $20 for a little sample or a couple mils of his fragrance. And even though I tried to put my words out there in the best way possible. Again, again, nothing against Jeremy, even though I have said some of my opinions or feelings regarding, him or what he's done in some different instances. I didn't like his fragrance, and again, it's not. I did. Fragrance wise, separating the man from the fragrance, it still wasn't a great fragrance. Yes, it's long lasting, Office for Men, but is it worth the money? It's overpriced. Can it get you compliments? Yes, it can get you compliments. Is it something that I wouldn't like or something that I would like to wear? No. You could go and find a designer fragrance made by Alberto Marias for much less money, and would it last as long as Jeremy's fragrance? No. I guess it's a big plus or a big minus. Maybe if you really like Jeremy fragrance, you really want to wear his fragrance. I don't know. That's not for me. But there's plenty of other blue, ozonic, transparent, even molecule-like fragrances like Office for Men that are out there, and spending that kind of money is not, uh, I wasn't too enthusiastic about it. So I'm optimistic for Jensen's fragrances. He said he had full creative control. He said he was the creative director. He said he had, no limits on, the price of the quality of the ingredients and, what he could do. And he didn't have anybody over his head saying that, you need to make more money. So, charge more money, or you have to limit the quality of the ingredients. And supposedly he put his own creativity in the fragrances. I think there was one that was like a Victorian tobacco, and there was like a cognac. What was it called? Cognac Cafe. I think that I'm not typing that in with my hands. I remember that off the top of my head, and both of those look probably the best from the brand. And then there was like a minty fresh one, like in a white bottle, and those piqued my interest, but I haven't smelled them yet. So if any of y'all do want to be generous enough to me to get a decanter or sample of Date for Men, or maybe anything else Jeremy or anybody else has put out, you can help me out if you'd like. But I don't know. I don't have the biggest budget in the world, and I just don't want to spend 10 maybe 15 odd dollars to do a review on something like that, and I'm not going to really love it or fall in love with the fragrance. So anyways, do you layer even ever layer fragrances? I answered all that. Okay, Bruno, you say, does Luna Rosa Carbon smell like Sauvage in the sillage? It is going to smell like Sauvage. So if you really dislike Ambroxan, Prana Luna Rosa Carbon does have Ambroxan in the dry down, and it does smell like Sauvage a little bit. So we were talking about, urban kind of modern fragrances that kind of have a, maybe a metallic, maybe a dark, maybe a coal, maybe something different about the fragrance. like that. So I don't know, Bruno. If you really don't like Ambroxan, kind of tell me what fragrances you have liked, or maybe something you're looking for, and maybe we can get on a topic and actually recommend something to you that you'd actually would like. Um, you know, Again, if you're looking for something, strange and different, you might want to go for Tom of Finland. It doesn't really have the ambergris, but I don't know. It's unique. It might not work. It's Anyways, Steve says, I used to be a perfume skeptic regarding its effect on performance of women. Now I'm no longer. My woman requires you to be praised. What do you mean by that? Let me read that again. I used to be a perfume skeptic. I'm no longer. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but maybe you're having really good results with fragrances, and it's enhancing your relationship or maybe your love life. I'm not sure there, my friend, but I'm happy for you, Steve. Fragrances really does help. Again, I've tried to say that fragrance isn't a magic potion. Fragrance really can help. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, but you still have to have enough confidence to go out there to strike up a conversation, or meet somebody, or do what you got to do. And fragrances certainly is something that'll help you, but just like clothes again are probably more important. Of course, being clean, looking really well, speaking well, having that confidence. If you're missing some of those components, it might just be a deal breaker. So, if you're a guy and you're looking for fragrances to be attractive, yes, fragrances can make you attractive, but is it really going to, hypnotize somebody or something like that? And again, you know, there's a lot that goes into being attractive, and I'm not a dating coach, but there is a big part of the population who wears fragrances to be attractive and to get compliments, and I recognize that. That certainly is a big part of the fragrance community and everything that's going on in the world, I guess. But again, being yourself and being true and finding I guess, an authentic connection is, I guess, the most important thing. So not just trying to, I don't know, seduce or with a fragrance or something. So, anything else? Any other questions? We haven't gone over the new fragrance releases or anything that we're excited to try. Again, there's a new Spice Bomb flanker that's been released. Again, I didn't care for the Night Vision. The regular one, supposedly the EDP was a lot better, and some people really liked that one. I think I tried just the EDT. I don't think I tried the EDP version, but I am excited about the new red version of, or whatever it's called, by Victor and Rolf, the new Spice Bomb. I'm looking forward to it. It looks nice. Funny that we brought up centric molecules. Let me double check here. There might be in some new centric molecules. Again, I just said the number 5 might be their newest one. Um, okay, so they're doing some flankers. There's going to be a new molecule O1 plus iris. There's going to be a new molecule O1 plus patchouli. And there's going to be a new molecule 1 plus mandarin. Okay, and if y'all aren't familiar with Molecule O1, that is, again, the ISOE Super that has a grassy, very clean, clear wood type of quality about it. So this is just going to be, that type of DNA mixed with a singular note, which is nice. And y'all know that I'm going to be looking at that mandarin. Y'all know I like orange and fragrances. So that Molecule O1 mandarin, that's on my radar. I want to try that fragrance. And one day, if I'm able to get it for a good price, I might just go for that Molecule O1 Mandarin. Y'all know that I like a good orange in my life. Um, let's pop in here. Let's see. Perfumes helped me. Okay, Steve. No, I definitely, I'm with you. Fragrance can be a powerful part of being attractive and seductive. And everybody from, I don't know, supposedly Casanova to, what was her name? The Egyptian one, the Cleopatra, supposedly used fragrances or scent and smell to their advantage. So, anyways, there's a new fragrance called by Byredo called Mixed Emotions. Looks quite nice. Byredos are hit or miss for me, but I certainly do want to give it a chance and see if it's any good. John E. Moxon says, "You late, dog." I know that I got on here late. Again, I'm sorry about that. Again, somebody else did a live at 6 p.m. It wasn't that I was terribly bothered. And again, this is somebody who I'm kind of friends with, and I like their channel. I got what have going on, but they got on exactly at 6 p.m. when I got on. So then I kind of waited for them to end their live, and they were on for a while, and I don't know. So then I jumped on. So maybe I shouldn't have waited. Maybe I should have just went for it. But again, I try not to conflict, and I try to give everybody their space, and I don't think they did it by any intention, uh, but the fragrance world is a small place. You think they would know. You think that they would know. So I will buy Tom of Finland, and I already have Luna Rossa Black. The third is similar to the two. Carbon may smell generic. Yeah, Prana Luna Rossa Carbon isn't going to be isn't extremely unique, but Carbon, if I mean, again, it all depends on you, and it's all relative. Some people only have very safe fragrances, and for some people, if you only have really light, mass appealing designer citrus and sauvage and some sorry about that, blue fragrances, Prada Luna Rossa Carbon could be something different. But again, if you're deeper into fragrances and if you've smelled a bunch, it's not going to be terribly different. But does it work? I think it's nice. And it's still a pretty good fragrance. But yeah, go for the Tom of Finland. That's going to be different and daring for you. And if you like that type of vibe, especially if you love industrial stuff, if you like the smell, you want a plasticky smell in your fragrance, latex, it might do something for you. So, anyways, I'm excited about the new Spice Bomb. Have you talked about the new Mont Blanc Explorer? I have not talked about, I don't know much about the new Mont Blanc Explorer. I'll have to double check that one. The Spice Bomb does look good though. That Spice Bomb it looks like it's happening. It looks tasty. Again, I am looking up some of the new fragrances. I haven't tried the new B683, the Extrait. Um, I really did like the fragrance. Again, a lot of people talked about the what was that? Oh, it's called Ganymede. That one seemed to be hyped, and that one seemed to be the one people liked. I liked the B683 more than the Ganymede. The Ganymede made it a bit lighter. It also made it a little bit more of a cheaper fragrance. The B683 was a little bit richer, in my opinion, a little bit heavier on the leathery tones, maybe a little bit sweeter as well. And there was something about it. Maybe it'll come back to mind. I'm not sure what it was, but six B683 to me was definitely the better of the two. And there's the new X-Trait. So maybe the big B683, maybe it did sell better to the average person in the boutiques. But it's sometimes funny to see what's popular in the YouTube world and what's actually popular, to the consumers in the boutiques and I guess the majority of people buying fragrances. So anyways, B683 X-Trait looks fantastic. I would love to try that from Marc Antoine Barrault. I attempted to say that. I probably said it wrong. Speaking about Etat Libre d'Orange, there's a new fragrance called Exit the King. I don't know if they were kind of jumping on the bandwagon, like Atkinson's with like Oud Save the King or something like that. But it looks like it's kind of like a very modern, I don't know, oud fragrance. Probably very inoffensive with the oud. So, anyways, see, okay. Have you tried anything from Profumum Aroma? I have. I've tried the Thundra. There's a couple other ones I've also tried, but I don't know if I remember them right now. I've only tried a very small few, two or three of them. Perfumum Aroma is quite a nice house, though. I like the ideas. I like how the fragrances look and their quality. They are a little bit expensive or sometimes hard to get your hands on. They're kind of like something you have to get through the internet. But anyways, Perfumum Aroma is a nice fragrance house. Certainly worth trying. Like Atkinson's, if you've never given Atkinson's a try, they're worth it. Or Montjane, also a pretty nice house. And I'm sure that you've already heard all about Nichane. I'm sure that a lot of y'all have tried Nichane by this time. But so, anyways, I'm trying to find anything interesting. Let's see. Dragon says, I need to take a little break. Time to change the kitty. There, Clover's getting impatient. Okay, so Clover's the nice cat. I'll keep watching. Absolutely. Hope that everything's going all right over there with Clover and the cat. And cats are pretty nice, funny creatures. Um, you know, um, I don't know if you've seen. We got a cat around here. Steve Boyce says, I love Reflection Man from Amouage. How would you rate Jubilation 25? Yeah, Reflection Man is really nice. It's classy. It can certainly be dressed up, and it can be dressed down as well. I often say that that's a great wedding fragrance, Reflection Man, and Reflection Woman for the ladies is actually quite nice too. So Jubilation 25, I would say it's a 10 out of 10. To me, it's a masterpiece of a fragrance. Certainly one of the best fragrances out there, Jubilation 25. I've seen some people think it's say it has too much oud. It has, to me, barely any oud whatsoever. It's actually very wearable. It's actually pretty heavy on the frankincense. To me, that's mostly what the fragrance is all about. And Jubilation 25 does change quite a bit, though, in how the fragrance feels. It develops about, 3 or 4 times, and I find it quite interesting how the fragrance kind of ebbs and flows and changes. So, beautiful fragrance. Again, it might not be for everybody, but again, I feel like it's more wearable than people give it credit. It's not hard to wear for me at all. And again, some people have asked me, and some people have seemed surprised that I could very easily, comfortably wear. It's not a daring. Jubilation 25 is not a daring fragrance to me at all. But again, everybody has different experiences and likes different things, so it might not be for everybody. But Dastardly, much love, my friend. Good to see you. How's life treating you? Supposedly, there's a new bunch of new Dua fragrances. Again, we're talking about new fragrance releases. If you've tried anything new and fun, if you've tried any new fragrances, just let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about or you would recommend me reviewing. I'm always trying to smell everything and review everything. Again, I have some spring fragrances coming for y'all, and I haven't even made my spring list yet. I still have some darker, complex fragrances I haven't reviewed for y'all. I haven't reviewed any of the Francesca Bianchi's, which I've been needing to. But again, I have almost 20 fragrance reviews um, that are almost ready to go. And then there's so much content. Then I have a bunch of lists, top fives and tens, and I haven't put any of those together. And then I have, I don't know, 20, 30 other odd niche fragrances that I could review for you. And again, you know, so I got my hands full. And then things, new fragrances coming in here and there. So, uh, how do you live? Are you all healthy? Yes, everyone's smelling good. I think we're all doing pretty good over here. Thank you for asking, Steve. It's definitely nice to know, we all care and support each other here as a family or a community, and that's a wonderful thing. Yes, we're all smelling good and doing pretty good over here, and I'm here for you as well. I hope that everybody's pulling through. Again, these have been tough times for a lot of us, financially and or health wise, and it's good that you have some friendship. At least that's one reason that I do these lives is because you have an opportunity and an outlet to talk to similar minded people and have some friends, and we can all talk about a hobby that we all have in common. So I hope that you do have some friendship and you do have somebody to talk to. And if you do want to talk to me more regularly, feel free to message me on Instagram. I get back to everybody and I respond to everybody just about every single day. And that's a way to get a hold of me. I really don't use Facebook too much recently. So if you try to message me on Facebook Messenger, I probably will haven't, I haven't even looked at my messages on there in like a month or more. So if you want to get a hold of me, you can't email me, but Instagram is the easiest way. And it's good to go over there anyways because I have a bunch of content over there. I have a bunch of things going on. So, you can see all my unboxings and my other stuff if you want to, stay in touch. So, sorry, my language, no problem, Steve. You spoke pretty well, and I definitely understood what you were trying to say, and I appreciate you, Steve. So, any questions, anybody? I'm not seeing any other new fragrance releases that were terribly super uber duper exciting. There's a new fragrance with a very funny name. I don't even know if I can say it. It's from Serge Lutens. Supposedly an almond fragrance. Let me see here. Let me look at the notes and see if there's anything interesting about it that I might want to have to say. It supposedly has Turkish Delight as a note, I think, has listed. So that looks interesting. And cherry. So this might be their attempt to do their own version, Serge Lutens, on cherry on top. So again, I'm telling y'all that not every fragrance is a clone, but there are trends. Not every fragrance is cherry on top because it uses cherry. Not fragrance every fragrance is a Ventus because it uses pineapple. But are there trends with certain notes? Absolutely. And cherry is one of the fragrances of the hour. one of the popular notes, and cherry is going crazy. Everybody wants to jump on the cherry bandwagon. So Serge Lutens is jumping into the game, throwing their hat in the ring. Ooh, hope it's a good one. So y'all know that Serge Lutens usually does a pretty good job. It looks like it's going to be good Turkish delight and cherry and some sweetness and some almonds and who knows what else. Juliet Has a Gun came out with a new fragrance called Pear Inc., Pear Incorporated. I think it's a very funny name. I don't know what they're doing. Are they Juliet over there? I don't know. Is she selling pears? I don't know why you would name the fragrance this. It looks like it's modern. It has ambroxan. It has ambrette, synthetic ambrette, and musk, and sweet pear. So I really don't know. It's very French if you look for their art, for their art, pictures for the fragrance. It's very funny. It's supposed to look like a man or an incognito person that looks like a pear in a suit. It's very funny business. Anyways, let's see here. Any other fragrances that have piqued your interest recently? I'm just trying to look at what's going on. There's a new brand came out that's called Bestseller. Again, I don't know if this is one of those kitschy brands that's gonna disappear, but I think it's very tacky to name your fragrance house Bestseller. That's might be one of those brands that comes and goes, kind of disappears really quickly. I don't know if they're trying to make a quick buck. I don't know what's going on over there. Ralph Lauren has released Romance Parfum, the Parfum concentration of romance. Um, Again, I'm not very connected to that fragrance. I don't have any fond memories or anything. It's a decent fragrance. I'm sure it's going to be a pretty good, mass appealing fragrance. By the color of the juice and just have this feeling, I feel like it's going to have similarities to maybe something like what was it? Dior had their feminine version that almost everybody's kind of forgotten about. It's like a musky, vanilla, kind of rosy kind of thing. So, when will you check Ojmal Gold? I need to get my hands on that, don't I? I don't know. I don't know. I should do that soon. Again, there's so many fragrances and so little time, and I try to do it all. Anyways, I'll do my best. I'll keep an eye out for that. But Ojmal makes some good fragrances. I've recently been going more for Al Haramain if I mess with that style or those kinds of things. But Ojmal does some good stuff too. So, anyways, Diptyque is certainly one that I want to get more into. I've told y'all about a number of fragrances, a number of houses that I really want to get into, and I certainly will uh, be trying to do that here in the future. There's one that came out in 2011 called Homage, or maybe it's called the Mage, or of the Mage, and it looks pretty interesting. I'd like to try that and a few other of the fragrances of Diptyque, honestly. You'll probably know about Tam Dao and Tempo. Those are some of the more popular ones from the house. So this is a golden egg. I'm surprised that no one else has been promoting it yet. Okay, Steve, I'll check out that Osmo Gold. Maybe it's as good as, maybe it's really good stuff, huh? See, Boyce says, any ideas why companies discontinue some amazing fragrances? I bought 3 bottles of Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Cologne in a panic because it's discontinuation. There's a lot of reasons. I could make a video dedicated to that. I think that I've spoken about enough or a lot, and I didn't know that maybe people still want, maybe people are still surprised. So I'll make a video dedicated to all about that. Maybe I'll make like 10 points, but there's a lot of reasons why. Again, is it a good decision? No. And a lot of us do love some beautiful fragrances, but again, especially with computer algorithms these days, these companies are not only are they sitting on vintage DNAs that they can switch around and play around. They have computers available to them, and at the speed of when you hire a perfumer, when you hire a master perfumer these days, he's not sitting down on a perfume organ playing around for hours and hours, starting from scratch. He really is smelling, multiple brand new. These could be the big top sellers, brand new big hits, and he might be able to smell five of them, 10 of them, 20 of them, and they probably could make 100, big top sellers. So for them to discontinue an amazing fragrance doesn't break their hearts. And it's an industry where sometimes, especially with flankers, and you want a new ad campaign, fragrances come and go so quickly. For them to keep continuing to sell fragrance, even if there's a loyal following behind that fragrance, it would be better for them for their market and their warehouse space and their production. That's it's business. Is it the best thing to do? No. Sometimes they discontinue some of the best fragrances that have been ever made, and they reformulate them. And there's also these days with IFRA making so many new regulations, and every year or two they make big regulations where almost reformulations have to happen. I feel like companies are almost starting to almost instead of having to reformulate their fragrances and see their sales dip and almost hurt the branding or hurt the image of their company. I think brands I've seen this trend happen a little bit more. I think brands in the future are just going to discontinue the fragrance outright and just come out with another one because that's the easier thing to do, instead of reformulate the fragrance and then have people have hurt feelings and with their brand, because they have to play the game to be able to sell in local stores. I would like to see companies rebel against IFRA, but again, if you want to use their chemicals, and again, a lot of it's kind of like unspoken, with these companies and distribution. If you're not IFRA compliant, if you don't have their seal of approval, I mean, you just can't market or sell, either to big malls and boutiques and wholesalers and all that business. So it's sad. A lot of great fragrances have come and gone. If you really do like a designer fragrance and you can't live without it, and you're the kind of person who might, if it got discontinued and you'd be willing to pay, two or three times the price, and it's, a fragrance you really love, you might want to buy a backup bottle. But again, for me, I only have like 70 odd fragrances. I mean, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to get through these. So I really don't need a backup bottle. And there's always new fragrances. I'm always trying new things. So, yes, there's beautiful fragrances you can get attached to and you can connect to and that you can love, but you can treasure it. I mean, there's always something new that I'm trying and something new that I'm experiencing. So, I don't know. I know that it's sad. You wish that things would last, you know, the best fragrances would be around for maybe future generations to enjoy or for other people to enjoy. But that's just not how the world works. Certain models. I mean, think about electronics. Think about like every 6 months there's a new version of some electronics, and you might fragrances isn't the same as electronics, but these brands might think of them as disposable. So anyways, I'm glad that although here is normal in these times, I will not write as it's because I do not want to. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but thanks for being here, and I hope that my thoughts came across in the best way. And there is a lot to think about with fragrances, and discontinuation. Some people are very passionate about it, and some people want for if it's a great fragrance and a masterpiece, they want them to continue selling it forever. Some brands they might when a fragrance is discontinued, they might keep a bunch of the stock for themselves and sell that for an inflated price on their website, or they might reformulate it and still have it available for online sales directly to the customers. Like Pour Monsieur by Chanel is one of those fragrances where it used to be an $80 fragrance. You could buy it discounters for 50 odd dollars. Now you have to pay about 150 odd dollars, and it's still a fantastic fragrance. It's still available, but you have to pay the money for it. So, anyways, yeah, it's so that might not be something you want either. Your $80 fragrance. Would you want your brand to sell it on their website, still have it available, and sell it for double the price? It's that. I mean, I don't know, and some brands aren't even willing to do that. So. I'm glad there is. Yeah, I don't know if I think you can write that maybe in the comment section. I don't know if that's going to do anything. I know that I certainly can't say that word. I'm not an authority. I don't claim to be, and I don't even speak on that topic. But y'all know that the algorithm in YouTube is a very, very funny place, and you know you can get in trouble for almost anything these days. So, anyways, any new fragrances y'all want to talk about? Any other thoughts? I feel like we're winding down. We've actually been on here for almost an hour and a half. Time has flown by. We've had a great chat and a lot of involvement, a lot of friendship, and good things going on. So I do appreciate you. Anything you'd like to know or ask me before I go? There are a lot of beautiful fragrances. I think we're moving over into spring. As we get into spring, do keep an eye on some big fragrances. I think Amouage Enclave or Meander could get hyped and become very popular. And there's some big releases that have come out pretty recently. So we'll have to see what it do, what it do. Then again, getting into the summer season, something that's also really underrepresented. It's one of those fragrances that's kind of not been given a fair chance. It's the Bulgari Aquamarine. It doesn't last the longest. Yeah, some people claim 3 hours. On my skin, it's more of a 5 hour fragrance. Is that a deal breaker for some people? I'm going to put out a full length review. For some people, a 5 hour fragrance is not acceptable whatsoever, but it's great quality for the money. It's great blending, and Aquamarine certainly, if you're close to somebody enough, it can get you good reactions. Again, it's not a terribly strong projector, but when in that first 30 minutes or an hour, Bulgari Aquamarine has certainly been one of my most appreciated fragrances. Versace Pour Homme, yes, Versace Pour Homme is a classic, absolutely. If you don't like the blue craze, but you still want a fresh fragrance, and maybe you don't know where to turn to, Versace Pour Homme, all time classic. It has that Italian flair. It has the crisp citrus, and it doesn't smell like a blue fragrance, but it absolutely is easy to wear. It's clean. It's a stand up fragrance. And some people, the younger kids who like everything sweet, I've seen some of them say that, Jeremy Fragrance almost even joked about it. Yeah, they said they think it's old. No, Versace Pour Homme does not smell old. Not at all. It's a timeless fragrance. I could see any well put together guy. I mean, is the 18-year-old kid or younger guy these days going to want to wear that fragrance? Maybe not. But could an 18-year-old wear it? Easily. Could a 20-year-old or 25-year-old easily wear it? Absolutely. It's a great fragrance, and I always that again. I stand behind with what I said. I recommend Versace Pour Homme for interviews. If you're right out of college and you want to put your best foot forward, dress up, be clean, make yourself look good, Versace Pour Homme, put on 2 sprays, and I think it'll help you out. Anyways, a lot of good fragrances. Some of them are underrepresented, but Versace Pour Homme still sells pretty well. C Boy says, "What fragrance do you enjoy the most with the weakest longevity?" That's a good question. I don't own a bottle of it because I find it personally a little bit more feminine, but it's very unisex. It's Pomelo Paradis. That certainly is one of my favorite ones as far as citrus goes. It's not very long lasting, and but again, that's by the House of Atelier. It's a gorgeous fragrance, though. Certainly one of the best spring summer fragrances. Even though longevity on it should be better, it's not. One of the ones I really like is the Cartier Roadster Sport. Cartier Roadster Sport is fantastic. It's classy, it's refined, it's citrusy. It might give you anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5 hours, though. It's That's probably one that I still have in the collection. I don't know of any other fragrances I have I kind of like my. There's that ginseng in R, whatever it's called, by Jovan. I still have that little thing in my collection. It doesn't last. It lasts like 2 hours, but I don't know if I would say I love that fragrance. But I still have that thing in the collection. Bulgari Man Extreme also gives me about 6 odd hours. Not terribly long lasting, but I really do enjoy the fragrance. It's certainly very mass appealing. And another one is Gucci Guilty O. I shouldn't like it. I've seen some big fragrance reviewers kind of put down on it, but Gucci Guilty O is a mass appealing fragrance. And other people, you'll like how it smells. It's very mass appealing. And other people probably will like it on you. It has that factor. Steve Bruce says, I'm 38. Hey, more power to you. And 38 is not old. Some people say now, they say 40 is the new 20. You still got a lot to look forward to, playa. At 38, you're looking good. You're probably, a better place in life. And you're probably, got your life together. So more power to you, Steve. And I know that you're smelling good getting into those fragrances. So Ron says I tried the newest Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum yesterday. I was pretty disappointed, honestly. Awful dry down on my skin. I don't know if I've tried the Eau de Parfum version. Yeah, Givenchy has a lot of hit or misses. Dolce Gabbana is the same way. Their fragrances have had some great hits in the past, but some of their fragrances are hits and misses. Hugo Boss is in the same territory. You have to find one that works for you. Try them. Again, if you blind buy into some of these, even if it's a name brand designer fragrance, it still could be risky. Not that it's an overtly strange fragrance, it just still might not work for you. You got to find what works on you. So one that is weak, but I love anyway is Aramis. Always, I love that watermelon. Yeah, yeah. Longevity. It is good to have good longevity, but sometimes it's just good to refresh, like almost like an aftershave, or just refresh during the day. Sometimes it's kind of nice to have that option to wear something refreshing in the day, and then halfway in between the day, maybe at night, maybe you want to go out on the town, maybe you want to go drinking with friends or go on a date or do something, go out on the town. It's sometimes kind of nice to know that you can kind of switch things up and you don't have to commit to what you sprayed in the morning. So there's different frames of thoughts. You can go throughout your day however you want. Steve, I think you might have wrote some Polish there. Oh, he says you want to buy. I don't know what that fragrance is. Do you know? No, no. I've never heard that one. I don't know who makes it. But again, if you want to send me links on Instagram to any of these fragrances so I can learn more about them, feel free to. There's a world of fragrance out there. There's hundreds and thousands, and it's hard to stay on top of everything. So Boy says I'm all about the refreshing quality over longevity to me. Yeah, again, I like longevity, and longevity is a good thing. It's certainly good to have some winter heavy fragrances, some things that stand up to cold. But does every fragrance have to be an 8-hour fragrance? No, not every fragrance does. I mean, is it good to have some long-lasting ones for like a whole work day? Or, sometimes you really want to get noticed. You really want something that's going to push off the skin. Yeah, sometimes it's good to have those. But I mean, you're going to be in different temperatures. You're going to be in different environments. You might not want to care or think about that. But, as far as a fragrance, me wearing fragrances, me thinking about the environments and where I'm going to be and what I'm going to do, even matching my fragrance to my outfit. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's something I like to do. So, anyways, yeah, refreshing fragrances are nice, see, boys, absolutely. Okay, guys, I feel like we've been on here for enough. We've been on here for an hour and 30. Probably going to wrap it up. I'm going to say goodbye, but thanks for hanging out. We've had a great discussion tonight. We've had a pretty darn good time, haven't we? So have a beautiful day, everybody. Cook some good food. You'll know I always say that. Take it easy. Again, if you're being safe or kind of staying away from everybody, keeping some distance. If you're doing all that, do try to connect with friends and family. Skype with them if you can. Try to maybe get on watch Twitch or do something that's remotely social. Twitch might not be that social, but maybe it's an avenue. There's ways to connect to people. So try to do something if you can. Again, some people can go to parks, some people can't, but do try to do whatever you can to get outside and all that. So have you tried Chic for Men by chance? I think I've been told to try that one. I don't think I've tried it yet. I think some people really suggested I get that one in the past. Is that one by Carolina Herrera? That one has, I forget, I want to say it had like a fruity note. Some people told me it was great. I think that one's by Carolina Herrera. Anyways, Chic. Anyways, no, I never got it. I should have, but I do have some fragrances that I could be coming and reviewing for y'all soon. One of them is Green Lover by Lolita Lampica. Some of y'all really been begged or wanted that fragrance review, and I liked how the notes looked, and I risked it, and I blind bought it for you wonderful people out there. So expect a review in the works. So thanks for the interaction. Stay safe. Absolutely. See boys. Absolutely. Have a beautiful time, everybody. I'll catch you next week. And again, I upload Mondays, I upload Wednesdays and Fridays. So look forward to those. I usually get my review out anywhere from 10 to about 4 p.m. U.S. Central Time. That's usually when I'm able to get my review out. So do stay in touch. If you want to, definitely hit that notification bell so you get notified if you want to see it when I release it, and stay in touch. And again, on Instagram, if you want to message me or see my other type of content, check me out on Instagram, Centaur Fragrance. Same name. You should be able to type it in. You should be able to find me and say hello if you'd like to. It'd be awesome to see you. So I'm glad. Greetings from Poland, my friend. Absolutely. Thank you for popping in. And everybody is always welcome. I've talked to people from just about all around the world on Instagram as well, everywhere from Brazil to England, and have some people pop in from the Middle East and everywhere, and it's awesome. So, okay, I gotta go, everybody, but have a beautiful weekend. Stay safe, and thanks for hanging out. It was a good night. It was a good time. So, I'll see you soon. Peace out, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend. Much love. Be safe, and bye.